In the early months of 2008, the coastal city of Kismayo in southern Somalia became a focal point of the ongoing conflict between the Transitional Federal Government, TFG, of Somalia and the Islamist militant group Al-Shabaab. Kismayo, a strategic port city on the Indian Ocean, was a valuable prize for both sides. Its control meant not only a strategic advantage, but also access to critical resources and supply routes. The TFG, with the backing of Ethiopian troops and support from the United States, sought to reclaim Kismayo from Al-Shabaab, which had established a stronghold in the city. The battle that would unfold over the next several months would test the resolve and strategy of both sides, culminating in a decisive confrontation that would shape the future of the region. In the early summer of 2008, the TFG began mobilizing its forces, with Ethiopian troops forming the backbone of the assault force. Colonel Hassan Mohammed, a seasoned TFG commander, was tasked with leading the offensive. He knew that taking Kismayo would require not only military might, but also careful coordination and planning. Meanwhile, Al-Shabaab, under the leadership of its commander, Sheikh Hassan Yaqub, fortified its defenses within the city. The militants, known for their guerrilla tactics, were determined to hold Kismayo at all costs. They prepared for a prolonged siege, stockpiling weapons and supplies, and establishing defensive positions throughout the city. As both sides prepared for the impending clash, the civilian population of Kismayo found itself caught in the crossfire. Many fled the city, seeking refuge in the surrounding countryside, while others hunkered down, hoping to survive the coming storm. In August 2008, the TFG and Ethiopian forces launched their assault on Kismayo. The initial phase of the operation involved heavy artillery bombardments and airstrikes aimed at softening Al-Shabaab's defenses. The city was rocked by explosions, and thick plumes of smoke rose into the sky as buildings and fortifications crumbled under the relentless barrage. Colonel Mohammed, directing the operation from a forward command post, knew that the key to victory lay in swift and decisive action. He ordered his troops to advance, supported by Ethiopian armored units. The TFG forces moved cautiously through the outskirts of the city, encountering stiff resistance from Al-Shabaab fighters who had dug in and were prepared to fight to the death. As the battle raged, the streets of Kismayo became a deadly maze of ambushes and street-to-street fighting. Al-Shabaab snipers, hidden in the ruins of buildings, picked off advancing TFG soldiers, while improvised explosive devices, IEDs, planted along key routes, wreaked havoc on the Ethiopian armor. Realizing that a frontal assault was proving costly and slow, Colonel Mohammed devised a plan to outmaneuver the entrenched militants. He decided to employ a tactic of deception and infiltration. Under the cover of darkness, he sent a small detachment of elite TFG commandos, led by Captain Ali Abdi, to infiltrate the city and create chaos behind enemy lines. Captain Abdi and his men, dressed in civilian clothes and armed with suppressed weapons, moved stealthily through the city, avoiding Al-Shabaab patrols and checkpoints. Their mission was to sabotage key enemy positions and create diversions that would draw Al-Shabaab fighters away from the main assault routes. The commandos successfully planted explosives on key supply depots and communication hubs. As dawn approached, the explosives detonated, sending shockwaves through the city and sowing confusion among the militants. Al-Shabaab fighters, unsure of where the attacks were coming from, began to scramble to reinforce their positions, leaving gaps in their defenses. Seizing the opportunity created by the commandos' sabotage, Colonel Mohammed ordered a renewed assault on Kismayo. This time, the TFG and Ethiopian forces advanced with greater speed and coordination. The demoralized Al-Shabaab fighters struggled to mount an effective defense as their positions were overrun one by one. Captain Abdi and his commandos, having completed their mission, joined the main force, guiding them through the weakened defenses. The TFG forces pushed deeper into the city, securing key districts and gaining control of strategic points. The sounds of gunfire and explosions echoed through the streets as the battle reached its climax. In a final bid to turn the tide, Sheikh Hassan Yaqub rallied his remaining fighters for a last-ditch counterattack. The militants launched a ferocious assault on the TFG positions, but they were met with a determined and coordinated defense. The Ethiopian troops, using their superior firepower and training, repelled the attack, inflicting heavy casualties on the attackers. By late September, The tide of battle had decisively turned in favor of the TFG and Ethiopian forces. The remaining Al-Shabaab fighters, realizing the futility of further resistance, began to withdraw from the city. The streets of Kismayo, once a battleground, were now eerily silent as the TFG soldiers secured their hard-won victory. Colonel Mohammed and Captain Abdi stood on a rooftop overlooking the city, surveying the aftermath of the battle. The cost had been high, with significant casualties on both sides, but Kismayo was once again under government control. The victory was a major blow to Al-Shabaab, weakening their grip on the region and providing a crucial morale boost to the TFG. As the dust settled, efforts began to restore order and rebuild the city. Humanitarian aid flowed into Kismayo, and the TFG worked to establish governance and security, aiming to win the hearts and minds of the local population. The Battle of Kismayo in 2008 was a turning point in the fight against Al-Shabaab in Somalia. It demonstrated the potential for cooperation between the TFG and its international allies, and it marked a significant step towards stabilizing the region. However, the battle also highlighted the complexities and challenges of counterinsurgency warfare in a volatile and fragmented landscape. Colonel Hassan Mohammed and Captain Ali Abdi were hailed as heroes, their leadership and bravery instrumental in the victory. Yet the battle left lasting scars on the city and its people. The struggle for control of Somalia would continue, with new challenges and conflicts on the horizon. In the annals of history, the Battle of Kismayo stands as a testament to the resilience and determination of those who fought to reclaim their land from extremism. It is a story of courage, strategy, and the enduring hope for peace in a war-torn nation. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give a like, share, and subscribe to receive notification when we drop new content.